Hello, today is Wednesday, June 17th, 2025. Right, this is a hump day, right? And 8 days later, I get paid. It's my salary, it's my payday, right? Good remuneration, and also the stock dividend for this month is expected to be $1,000. So I'm a bit about this remuneration by my company and by Korea, right? I am a Korean. I work for Korea Telecom, KT, the number one carrier in Korea. I'm very proud of my company. My company stock is also a dividend stock, which means that it dishes out a lot of dividends whenever it can. Currently, it's more than 2,000 won per year, per annum. So that means 500 won per quarter, right? Quarterly dividend is 500 won, which is roughly about 1/3 of dollar, right? So if you do happen to be looking for a stock to buy in Korea, KT is a good stock to buy. Today we are going to read about essay, right? Review. This one was written by DC Copy Pro. He's a good guy. He lives in Seoul, and he's advertisement copywriter and a proofreader and good English professor at a university. He's a good guy, Demizek, right? I want you to subscribe to his channel, right? On Facebook, DC Copy Pro, and you will get a lot of insight regarding proper usage of English and also marketing, copywriting, everything, right? Rolled into one. DC Copy Pro. This article was written November 26th, 2023. Right? I'm going to read this article to practice English because I'm not a native speaker. I just set my mind to read an English article on a daily basis. I used to read the magazine Time when I was a college student, which increased my English capability and competence level. And I really recommend the English books, magazines, any materials, manuals, military manuals that you can put your hands on so that you could increase your English capability. And also, as a non-English speaker, we need to constantly read the English material so that we could keep up with our English capability and so on. So that's why I am here to read this article for today. The title of the subject today is How to Write an Effective Negative Review in 4 Easy Steps That Will Get Results. Right? So, learning how to write an effective negative review isn't that hard when you know how. Step 1 of how to write an effective negative review: determine your goal. Step 2 of how to write an effective negative review: give some brief context. Step 3 of how to write an effective negative review: explain what didn't live up to your expectations. Step 4, give credit where it's due. Bonus tip: write your negative review when you are calm. Right, when you are angry or agitated, the negative review can have a personal emotions involved, and they could escalate things seriously. My water rowing machine odyssey: there's always some risk involved when buying secondhand. Now that you know the story, here's my effective negative review. This rowing machine isn't for me, but it might suit you. Here's how you could win the water rowing machine. Contest closed. Okay, so interesting development there with his rowing machine that he bought as used. When you receive a poor service or buy a product that doesn't meet your expectations, you get upset. It's natural to want to rant to anyone who will listen about how you've been wronged. You want to stick it to the business that wronged you and see them go under. Write an expletive filled online review might feel good, but it likely won't get the desired effect you seek. Let's look at how to write an effective negative review. An expletive filled online review, right? An expletive filled online review. But why won't you raw, unfiltered attack on the company that wronged your work? Because you will come away looking like an unstable, raving lunatic. As such, no one will take your review seriously. They will perceive your attack as emotional and angry, but it won't convince them to avoid the company you are going after. So how do you achieve your goal, right? Lunatic, unstable, this is another good expression. Because you will come away looking like an unstable, raving lunatic. You will come away looking like an unstable, raving lunatic. You will come away looking like an unstable, raving lunatic. You will come away looking like an unstable, raving lunatic. An expletive failed review. Learning how to write an effective negative review isn't that hard. You know when you know how. It's actually not that hard. I don't know about you, but I don't fully trust positive reviews. It's getting harder to determine which ones are real and which have been paid for or written by AI. I tend to look at the negative reviews to see if the same complaints surface again and again. The complaints seem legitimate or whether they could be attributed to user error. It's actually be bothered by the complaints in the negative reviews. As I said, I don't trust all those positive reviews, but I don't take every negative review at face value either. I look for the ones that make a good point, are logical, and don't seem like a rant. Follow these steps and you will write an effective negative review that will be believed. Your negative review will carry more weight and show you have a legitimate complaint. Readers will use your review to assess whether to use that service or buy that product. Determine your goal. How do you feel compelled to write this negative review? Why? Are you angry that you are wronged? Do you want to see the company suffer? Are you looking for revenge? There may be legitimate reactions, but they won't lead to an effective negative review. More than likely, people reading your review will see it for the emotional rant that it is, but they won't find it credible. See it for the emotional rant that it is, but they won't find it credible. An effective negative review can achieve several things. An effective negative review could rectify the situation. See this post on writing a complaint letter. Result in the company reaching out to you to offer a solution. result in some form of compensation, that is, store credit or gift card. Store credit, right? Credit. You get credit to buy replacement products. Store credit. Store credit. Warn other consumers to avoid the product service based on your negative experience. Once you've determined your goal, you have to figure out how to achieve it, right? Step 2. Give some brief context. In as few words as possible, give enough context so readers will understand what happened. When, where did you buy the product or receive the service? Were there any exceptional circumstances involved? Don't write a 5-page story. Keep it short and simple. Keep it short and simple. Keep it short and simple. But provide enough detail so anyone, right, unfamiliar with the situation will understand what happened. Step 3. Explain what didn't live up to your expectations. Again, keeping it brief, explain why you are dissatisfied. The key here is to stick to the facts. Avoid emotional, judgmental language here. State how the product or service let you down, and be realistic with your expectations. No one will give your review any credit if you are complaining about a $2 Ginsu knife that broke after 3 weeks of use. Another crucial part of this step is to provide evidence where possible. Not all platforms allow the posting of pictures or videos. If they do, include a few to show that your complaint is legitimate and that you aren't embellishing the facts. Embellishing the facts. You are not embellishing the facts. You are not embellishing the facts. You are not embellishing the facts. You aren't embellishing the facts. You are not embellishing the facts. You aren't embellishing the facts. You aren't embellishing the facts. Step 4. Give credit where it's due. This may seem counterintuitive, but if you acknowledge the positive, it will make your negative review more credible. If you ever have to write a reference for a friend or colleague, it's always good to include a couple of minor negative things the person can work on. Whoever reads your recommendation will believe you wrote a reference after careful consideration. The same goes for a review, right? Embellishing. You are not embellishing the facts. Maybe customer service contacted you quickly and politely, but they ultimately didn't resolve the issue. Acknowledge that. A sympathetic support agent contacted me the following day about my complaint. Mentioning positive experiences will make your negative review seem more credible. It will show that you aren't blinded by rage and are just looking for faults. You aren't blinded by, right? You aren't blinded by rage. But acknowledging the positive will make your mentions of negative more effective. You aren't blinded by rage. You aren't blinded by rage. Bonus tip: write your negative review when you are calm. In the heat of the moment, that's good expression, right? In the heat of the moment. In the heat of the moment. When you are seeing red, it's hard to remain neutral and factual and to avoid emotionally charged language. I am not suggesting you wait 2 weeks to write your review, but if you can't If you can wait a few hours until you've calmed down, you will likely write a more effective negative review. Or you could write an initial draft when you are angry to help release some of your frustration. But don't hit send, return to it later to remove the ranting sections and revise your negative review when you are calmer. If you follow these tips, your next negative review will carry more weight. Readers will attach more credibility to your negative review. My water rowing machine odyssey. Let's look at an example of how to write an effective negative review. The story of my water rowing machine. Before I get into the actual review, let me give you some context. It's a bit complicated. I decided I wanted to upgrade to a water rowing machine. I found a brand new one on a popular second-hand selling app. The seller stated they would receive the rowing machine as a gift, but decided it wasn't for them. The owner had opened the box but had never assembled the rower. Since it was a gift, he was willing to let it go at half the retail price. I checked some online reviews of the model, didn't see any red flags, and decided to buy it. Some assembly required. For about 6 weeks, it worked great, no complaints, but around that 6-week mark, I started hearing strange noises and things didn't feel right. One day, the plug that holds the water in popped out while rowing, spraying water everywhere. That happened a few more times. Looking at the water tank, something didn't seem right. I decided to empty the tank to get a better look. When I did, there were several pieces of broken plastic. The flywheel had cracked and was falling apart. Right? It's only 6 weeks. It was not exposed to the sunshine, right? There's always some risk involved when buying secondhand. I contacted the seller to see if they would consider doing the right thing, but they blew me off. The website promised a 2-year warranty. Since I had a picture of the original purchase delivery date 4 months earlier, I contacted the company. They claimed they would never heard of my issue but agreed to send a replacement. The second machine lasted for a week. That's right, 7 days. This time the failure happened in 1 day, and I knew exactly what had happened. I saw cracks in the flywheel and chunks of broken plastic in the water tank. I contacted the company again, but not for a replacement. This time I wanted a refund. I had no reason to believe a third machine would yield different results. But there was a catch. When the person who sold it to me said the rowing machine was a gift, he hadn't been 100% upfront. It was a promotional gift from the company. He was supposed to use it and write a positive review, a practice I believe is illegal. I don't know how he could sell it to me without writing a review of the rowing machine, or maybe he wrote a fictional review without ever using it. I don't know. Since no one had purchased the rower, the company refused to refund my money, even 50% of the retail price I requested. I contacted the seller again, but he claimed he'd been upfront. He hadn't. He felt he bore no responsibility. The company said that they would send me some more replacement, but that would be it. I wasn't satisfied. I had no reason to believe the third one would be more durable. They sent it to me, but it remains unopened with the packing straps still on it. Now that you know the story, here's my hopefully effective negative review. I bought a new unused babysitter water rowing machine secondhand for 250,000 won in June 2024. 3. Despite being secondhand, the rowing machine was in the box and had never been assembled. I used the rowing machine daily for 30 minutes for about 2.5 months. At this point, the plastic flywheel cracked. See image, rendering the machine unusable. Upon emptying the water tank, I found several pieces of broken plastic from the flying wheel. I contacted the bodystar with proof the rower had been purchased a few months ago, the shipping label from the original owner. They agreed to send me a replacement, which arrived within a few days. I assembled the new machine, but it failed in the same manner after only a week's use. Pieces of plastic from the broken flywheel found upon emptying the water tank. I then requested a refund from Badista. They informed me they would send their first rowing machine to the original owner as a promotional item. As such, they refused to refund the 250,000 won I had paid the original owner, who declined to offer any resolution. Badista agreed to send one more replacement, but they were clear it would be the last one despite promising 2 years of after service online. The plastic flywheel is not able to withstand the pressure of vigorous rowing. I would not recommend this water rowing machine to anyone looking for a vigorous workout. I'm very disappointed that Badista refused to resolve the situation satisfactorily. Though Badista sent 2 replacements quickly, the third machine is useless to me. I have no reason to trust it won't fail in the same manner. This rowing machine isn't for me, but it might suit you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how to write an effective negative review. This is the review I would have posted if I could have. I can't post a review since I didn't buy the item from the online site, but my loss is your gain. You learned how to write an effective negative review, and that's all. That's not all. My loss is your gain. I've since, that's good expression, right? Cliche. I've since bought a more robust water rowing machine. I still have the unopened replacement Badista sent to me. While this is not a rowing machine for me, it may be right for you. Originally priced at 799,000 won, it now retails for around 400,000 won. It was 499,000 when I bought it secondhand for 250,000. And now it could be yours for free. This contest is now closed. Win a free rowing machine. Keep reading for details on how to win. That's right. I'm giving this rowing machine away for free. I will even pay for shipping only within Korea. So why would you want this water rowing machine after 2 of them broke on me? This machine has a 4.5 star rating with only 2 1-star reviews, 1 2-star review, and 4 3-star reviews. Most of the negative reviews seem to center on the assembly, which I didn't have a problem with. There is one review that seems to have the same issue as I did, but the other 41 reviews are positive. But you know how I feel about positive reviews. Who would I recommend this rowing machine for? I think this rowing machine would be well suited to people who are under 80 kilograms, don't need to fill the tank up to the maximum level to get a good workout. Plan on doing lower intensity workouts rather than hard intense workouts. Lower intensity workouts, hard intense workouts. Here's how you could win this water rowing machine. One entry per person per platform. People entering this contest via Instagram and Facebook will receive 2 draw entries, but you must invite different people. People who invite tag may enter this contest by following the same steps below, provided they do so before the closing date. To be entered in a draw to win this rowing machine, you must on Instagram platform 1. Comment on this post by copying and pasting I Instagram ID. Have read this review of the Bodister water rowing machine. Comments will remain hidden to prevent spammers from getting your info. So Korean translation is just good, but needs more touch. 2. Follow DC Copy Pro on Instagram. You can skip this step if you already follow me. Like this post on Instagram. Tag someone who you think should follow me on Instagram in the comments of this post with the hashtag DC Copy Pro contest. Facebook. Comment on this post by copying and pasting our Facebook name. Have read this review of the Bodister water rowing machine. Comments will remain hidden to prevent the spammers from getting your info. 2. Follow DC Pro Copy Pro on Facebook. You can skip this step if you already follow me. 3. Like this post on Facebook. 4. Tag someone who you think should follow me on Facebook in the comments of this post with the hashtag #TC Copy Pro contest. Miscellaneous. You must complete all 4 steps to be entered in the draw. Incomplete entries will not be counted. Winners can reside outside Korea but must provide a Korean shipping address. Absolutely no international shipping. You may gift this rowing machine to a friend or a family member. That's good word, gift. Usually it's a noun, but here it's a verb, right? Gift, gifted. He's a gifted guy. Intelligent, genius. You may gift this rowing machine to a friend or family member. Contest dates, right? Prize draw announcement Friday, December 15th, 2023. Well, today is June 17th, 2025. Good luck. Well, that's it. It's rather short. I think Demizak was frustrated with the system, and he just wrote this article to vent out his anger, right? Of course, there's the seller, the original seller who sold this rowing machine to Demizak, this Copy Pro, maybe not responsible for the products, right? It's you buy on Carrot platform, you just buy the stuff as they are, as it is, right? There's no guarantee. You just buy the stuff as they are. So that's why he contacted the original manufacturer But unfortunately, the product, the rowing machine, was a promotional item, so nothing can be done. Before I close this article, I would like to remember what I decided to remember. Right? Expletive field comments. Right? Expletive field online review. Anger, calm down your anger. Right? Let's find out. You may give this rowing machine to friends, to a friend or a family member. Gift. You aren't blinded by rage. You aren't blinded by rage. You aren't blinded by rage. You aren't embellishing the facts. You are not embellishing the facts. You aren't embellishing the facts. You aren't embellishing the facts. You aren't embellishing the facts. Store credit, store credit, store credit. An expletive field online review. You will come away looking like an unstable, raving lunatic. You will come away looking like an unstable, raving lunatic. You will come away looking like an unstable, raving lunatic. An expletive field online review. Thanks for listening. Have a great hump day. Bye bye.